The film begins with a short clip from around 1973, when a group of 5 young friends went for a vacation in Texas. There, they were brutally killed by a masked man, who has not been traced till date. The killer attacked the group with unique weapons like a hammer, fish hooks, and most surprisingly, a chainsaw. Out of the 5 friends, only one girl, Sally Hardesty, survived. After recording her statement, she never mentioned the incident again. It was difficult to identify the killer as he was wearing a human mask. The scene then shifts to the present, where a little girl named Leela is watching this clip on TV. Curious, she asks the gas station owner about Sally, who replies that Sally has been looking for the killer for 40 years but can't find him. Soon, Lila's sister Melody arrives and tells them they have to leave. Outside, Melody is surprised to find her friend Dante not inside the car. Dante's girlfriend Ruth tells her that he is looking for a signal on his phone. Later, a strange man arrives with a gun in his pocket. As he is about to fill up, Melody makes some comments about his appearance. After the man responds, they decide to leave for their destination, Harlow. On the way, we learn that Dante and Melody have invested in a property in Harlow and are hoping for new investors. A little while later, the same man from the gas station passes them, emitting black smoke. The smoke disturbs the group, and they close their windows. After driving for a while, they are stopped again by some policemen who tell them to be careful and behave responsibly in the city. The policeman also gives them a card, which says that if they get into any trouble, they should call him. In the next scene, the squad reaches the city and starts planning the possible development work to be done there. They talk about modernizing and rebuilding the city to make it accessible for the people. However, they are surprised to find out that the petrol pump owner, whose name is Richter, is actually their project contractor. Later, while roaming around the area, they see a flag that shouldn't have been there. So Dante and Melody enter the house to remove the flag. Soon, Melody finds out that the house is an orphanage from 1925. When Dante climbs up and tries to remove the flag, he fails. He then comes back to Melody to ask for help. At the same time, they hear a noise coming from the kitchen and are surprised to see an old woman still living in the house. The old woman welcomes them, but they tell her that the house is theirs and she can no longer live there. The woman tries to explain to them that she has repossessed the house from the bank, but a stubborn Dante goes outside to call the police. Melody tells the woman to leave the house and go live in an old age home, but she refuses. Just then, a fat man comes up the stairs after hearing the noise. The old woman reveals that the man is the last child from her orphanage. Meanwhile, the police arrive and ask the woman to leave the house. When they force her to leave the house, the woman suddenly has a heart attack and collapses on the ground. Seeing this, the fat man comes to her and immediately takes her to the ambulance. A worried Ruth also goes with the woman. After this, Lila tells Melody that the place is cursed and they should leave as soon as possible. However, Melody doesn't listen to him and tells him to calm down. Shortly after, the investors arrive and Dante gets busy showing them the house. The scene then again shows the old lady being taken to the hospital. She has trouble breathing and eventually dies. Panicked, the giant man tries to give her oxygen, but there is no response. One of the police officers grabs his arm and restrains him, but the man breaks the officer's arm and stabs him in the neck. Seeing this, Ruth immediately texts her friends about the old lady's death. The officer takes out his gun and tries to fight the man, but he gets killed and accidentally shoots another officer driving the car as well. Because of this, the car swerves and crashes into a nearby field. Back in town, we see Melody auctioning off property for investors. Meanwhile, she sees Lila driving to Richter's garage. After the auction is over, Melody checks her phone, where she finds a message from Ruth telling them that the old lady has died. Scared, Melody thinks it's all their fault and decides to leave as quickly as possible. Dante tries to stop her, but she's in no mood to listen. Melody then sneaks into Richter's garage and finds Lila in his bathroom. She tells Lila that the old lady has died and that they should flee town as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Richter listens to all this from his room. In the police car, Ruth wakes up to the demon's banging noises. She sees him take off the old woman's face and wear it as a mask, and introduce himself as Leatherface. Ruth gets scared and tries to call for help on the police radio. The gas station owner hears her. Suddenly, the police officer who was shot wakes up and Leatherface sees him. He quickly comes to his window and brutally hits him on the head. During this, Ruth pretends to be unconscious. However, later, when she tries to escape, Leatherface finds her and kills her. After getting everyone out, he heads towards the city. In the next scene, we see Dante giving the car keys to Melody, who wants to leave. But, Richter comes and snatches the car keys from all of them, accusing them of killing the old woman. Dante asks for the keys back, but Richter replies that he will return them only if they show him the house papers. Dante claims to have the keys and heads to their van to look for them. Unfortunately, he does not find the papers, instead assuming they were left in his office. At the gas station, the owner calls Sally and tells her about Leatherface. Hearing this, Sally packs her bags, loads them with guns, and prepares to leave for Harlow. Before leaving, she looks at a photo of her friends who were brutally killed by Leatherface years ago. In the next scene, Melody and Dante break into the old woman's house and search for the house ownership papers. Melody soon finds the papers and is shocked to learn that the old woman was telling them the truth about her orphanage. Meanwhile, Dante is looking for the papers downstairs, where he is attacked by Leatherface. While Melody is looking for him, she sees Dante lying on the floor with Leatherface next to him. Scared, she runs into a room and hides in a closet. Leatherface notices someone's presence in the house and sets out to find her. He enters the old woman's room and starts putting on makeup. At the same time, he hears some announcements being made outside and gets upset. Angered, he storms out of the room. Seeing this as an opportunity, Melody tries to escape, but fails. Leatherface returns to the room, and this time Melody hides under the bed. He then starts hammering the wall until it breaks. At the sound of the bang, the injured Dante wakes up and runs out. He is spotted by Richter, who asks him where he is going. When Dante stops and turns around, Richter is shocked to see him badly injured. However, Dante dies before he can tell them about his attacker. Cautiously, Richter decides to break into the house with a gun. Inside the house, Leatherface retrieves his hidden chainsaw from inside the wall. Just then, Richter arrives, and the two begin to grapple. The fight ends with Richter being killed in a gruesome manner. Before dying, Richter retrieves the car keys and places them in front of Melody. As Leatherface leaves, Melody cautiously takes the keys and prepares to flee. However, despite being cautious, Leatherface spots her and attacks her with a hammer. Melody is hit, causing her to fall through the floor into the basement. At that moment, Lila arrives searching for Melody. Leatherface is about to cut Melody, but Lila breaks the window to save her sister. Then both sisters run outside towards the bus and urge the driver to move away immediately. The driver starts the bus, but for some reason he has to stop. He opens the door and gets down to see what's wrong, but only his severed head comes back. Moments later, Leatherface enters the bus with his chainsaw. At first, the investors partying inside the bus think it's a horror show, but soon Leatherface starts cutting people up, turning the bus into a complete slaughterhouse. He kills everyone inside the bus one by one. However, the sisters manage to hide in the bathroom. Soon, when Melody sees a hole in the ceiling, she asks Lila to open it and escape. The sisters climb onto the roof and exit the bus. After jumping off the bus, as they are running through the streets, Sally arrives and takes the girls into her car. Melody urges Sally to leave, but she tells her that she has come to kill Leatherface and avenge her dead friends. She then locks the sisters in the car and chases after Leatherface, holding a gun. In the next scene, we see Sally driving to the orphanage and looking for Leatherface. She finds him in a room and asks if he still remembers her. Leatherface does not respond, but instead picks up a chainsaw and walks towards the sisters to kill them. He breaks the car windows and attacks the sisters inside. Sally shoots at him and reveals that she was the only survivor of his attack nearly 50 years ago. Leatherface is terrified and runs away. Sally then gives the sisters the car keys and tells them to leave. Afterwards, Leatherface attacks Sally with full force, taking away her ability to shoot. He then plunges his chainsaw into her body and throws her onto a pile of garbage bags. Seeing this, Melody tries to run over Leatherface with the car, but he escapes and the car crashes. After the crash, Melody is trapped in the car, and she tells Lila to run away. At first Lila refuses, but when she sees Leatherface approaching, she runs away. Just then, Melody apologizes to Leatherface for being rude to his mother and nearly killing her. Enraged, Leatherface turns on the chainsaw and prepares to attack, but to his surprise, Lila returns with one of Richter's machine guns and points it at him. However, she is unable to fire as the gun is empty. Seeing this, Leatherface chases after her with his chainsaw. When he is about to attack, Sally shoots him in the back, forcing him to flee. After Leatherface leaves, Lila approaches Sally, who suggests her not to run away from him. She makes it clear that if she runs away, he will chase her for the rest of her life. Instead, Sally reloads her gun and hands it to Lila, telling her to kill Leatherface. As she does so, he dies. In the next scene, we see Lila holding a gun and searching for Leatherface to kill him. To her surprise, Lila attacks her and pulls her into a pool of water. After some struggle, Lila manages to get out of the water and tries to retrieve her gun. Leatherface also comes out of the water and throws his chainsaw towards Lila. To save her sister, Melody comes out of nowhere and attacks Leatherface. The two sisters then fight together against the giant, and Melody knocks him back into the pool of water with her chainsaw. Seeing Leatherface drown in the pool, they think he is finally gone. The next day, Melody and Lila are about to leave town. They put the car on autopilot mode and drive out of town while talking to each other. Suddenly, Leatherface returns and pulls Melody out of the window and decapitates her. Lila witnesses this, but is unable to do anything to save her sister as the car drives away.